Milk transforms when shared, so do relationships. If you think about it, milk in its natural state is already nourishing and valuable. It has the ability to give strength, energy, and comfort. But milk rarely stays in just one form. With time, care, and a little effort, it changes into butter, yogurt, cheese, or even something sweet like ice cream. Each transformation adds a new dimension of flavor, richness, or joy. In the same way, human beings in isolation may remain good, valuable, and complete, but the real transformation of our nature often happens in connection with others. It is when we are churned by friendships, sweetened by love, or matured by family ties that we reveal layers of ourselves we didn't know existed. When you pour milk into tea or coffee, it blends and brings warmth, softening the strong bitterness into something more pleasant. That is exactly what happens when people connect. Life by itself can feel like a cup of strong tea, sometimes harsh, sometimes overwhelming. But when shared with someone who understands us, the bitterness is softened. A word of encouragement from a friend, a smile from a stranger, or even the gentle presence of family can act like milk blending into the strong brew of life, making it easier to drink, easier to live through, and even enjoyable. Just as milk becomes yogurt when left to ferment, relationships too develop their own flavors with time. Some bonds might start plain, but as trust and memories accumulate, they become tangy, rich, and full of depth. A simple acquaintance slowly turns into a companion who carries a unique taste in your life. Without sharing, without allowing this natural process of time and togetherness, such transformation never takes place. People who keep themselves isolated may remain like plain milk, good but lacking the diverse richness that comes when shared and shaped by different experiences. Butter is formed when milk is churned. The churning process isn't easy. It requires effort, patience, and energy. In the same way, strong and valuable relationships are formed when we go through challenges together. Conflicts, misunderstandings, or struggles act as the churner in the process of human connection. At the time, it may feel uncomfortable, even tiring, but once endured, what emerges is something solid and lasting, like butter. This is why friendships that go through tough times often end up becoming the strongest. The difficulties don't weaken them, they refine them. Think about ice cream. It is milk transformed with sweetness, flavors, and a bit of coldness, turning into something delightful that brings joy to everyone. Similarly, there are relationships in life that add sweetness to our days. These are the people who make us laugh when life feels heavy, who add color to dull moments, and who remind us of joy when we forget it. Their presence transforms ordinary existence into something worth savoring. Just like ice cream, they may not be with us every day, but whenever they come around, they bring happiness and comfort. Milk is versatile because it is willing to blend, to be stirred, to be transformed. Human beings also carry the same potential. When we share our time, emotions, and presence with others, we allow life to shape us into something more meaningful. Alone, we might stay simple and limited, but in relationships, we discover flavors of patience, textures of loyalty, and sweetness of love. Each bond shapes us into a new form, making us more complete and more enjoyable to the world around us. Patience and sweetness turn bonds into joy. Every relationship, like every living thing, needs time to grow and flourish. Just as a seed planted in the soil doesn't sprout into a tree overnight, human connections don't instantly become deep or meaningful. They require patience. There will be seasons when the soil feels dry, when the leaves are not yet visible, and when it seems nothing is happening. Yet beneath the surface, growth is quietly taking place. With the right nurturing and time, the roots strengthen, and life emerges. In the same way, bonds between people develop beneath the surface. Trust, understanding, and comfort don't appear immediately. They are slowly cultivated by being present, by listening, by waiting without rushing. Without patience, relationships often wither before they've had a chance to reveal their true strength. Sweetness plays an equally important role. Just as a drop of honey can change the taste of an entire cup, small acts of kindness and warmth can transform the tone of a bond. A gentle word, a thoughtful gesture, or a smile offered at the right time can soften hearts and dissolve misunderstandings. Many people believe that relationships thrive only on grand displays of affection, but often it is the consistent sweetness in small everyday actions that builds a reservoir of joy. Bringing someone a glass of water without being asked, listening without interrupting, or remembering tiny details about someone's life. These moments add flavor and warmth to the connection, making it rich and fulfilling. Patience and sweetness together form the balance that relationships need to grow. Imagine cooking a dessert. If you rush it, the texture is ruined. If you skip the sugar, it feels empty and bland. The right mixture of time and sweetness creates something delightful. Similarly, when we allow time for people to unfold, for trust to build, and for wounds to heal, patience becomes the foundation. When we add sweetness through kindness, empathy, and care, the relationship gains flavor and becomes enjoyable. Bonds without patience often break under pressure, and bonds without sweetness often become dry and mechanical. Life constantly tests connections. There will be moments of disagreement, times when silence feels heavy, and situations where tempers flare. In those moments, patience is the anchor that prevents us from letting go too quickly. Instead of reacting harshly, patience teaches us to pause, to wait, and to let the storm pass. Sweetness then acts like sunlight breaking through the clouds. Even after the hardest days, a kind gesture or soft word can heal wounds and rekindle warmth. Together, they not only repair the bond, but also strengthen it, creating joy that wasn't there before. Think of a parent and child. A child doesn't learn everything instantly. Parents repeat lessons, guide gently, and endure mistakes. It is their patience that allows the child to grow at their own pace. But what makes those lessons memorable is not just patience. It's the sweetness of love that accompanies it. The gentle encouragement, the affectionate tone, the playful laughter, these transform the child's experience from obligation into joy. In friendships and partnerships, the principle is no different. We need the steadiness of patience and the tenderness of sweetness to create bonds that don't just survive but truly flourish. Every meaningful bond carries within it traces of these two qualities. Patience keeps us steady when others fall short of expectations, while sweetness reminds us to keep hearts soft rather than cold. When both qualities work together, what emerges is not only a strong connection, but one that radiates joy and brings comfort to everyone involved. Connection enriches life in many unique forms. Every person we meet adds a different note to the song of our life. Some bring rhythm, others bring melody, and together they create a harmony that cannot exist if we choose to live in silence. Alone we may carry strength, but connection adds depth and dimension. Just as a single instrument can play a tune, but an orchestra brings music to life with its layers and variations, relationships provide the richness that makes life feel complete. Each bond is distinct, carrying its own lesson, its own energy, and its own meaning. With family, connection often comes as a foundation, a sense of belonging that anchors us, even when the world feels unsteady. Family ties remind us that we are part of something larger, that our story began before us and will continue after us. This kind of connection offers security, much like roots grounding a tree. It does not always mean perfection or harmony, but even through disagreements, there is a bond that holds firm. Family enriches life by giving us history, identity, and continuity, shaping the way we see ourselves in relation to others. Friendship, on the other hand, brings a different flavor. Friends are the ones we choose to walk alongside, and through them, life gains color and laughter. A friend can turn an ordinary day into a memory worth cherishing. They bring spontaneity, understanding, and companionship that breaks the monotony of routine. The richness of friendship lies not in constant presence, but in the quality of shared moments, the comfort of being seen without judgment, and the joy of being accepted as we are. This form of connection reminds us that life is not meant to be endured alone, but celebrated together. There are also connections that arrive unexpectedly, sometimes lasting only for a brief season, yet leaving a lasting imprint. A conversation with a stranger, an act of kindness from someone we may never meet again, or a mentor who appears for a short phase, can enrich life in ways we do not anticipate. These fleeting bonds are like wildflowers blooming along a path, temporary yet capable of bringing beauty and fragrance to our journey. They remind us that not all connections need permanence to be meaningful. Romantic relationships carry their own unique depth. They combine companionship with intimacy, trust with vulnerability. In them, we often find both challenge and growth, because they require us to open the deepest parts of ourselves. This connection enriches life by teaching us about love, sacrifice, and the balance of giving and receiving. It is not just about shared joy, but also about resilience, the ability to weather storms together, and the discovery of strength that comes from unity. The richness here lies in the fusion of two lives learning to move as one without losing individuality. Even our connection with community and society brings enrichment. Contributing to something bigger than ourselves, serving others, or simply being part of a group creates a sense of purpose. It expands our world beyond personal needs and desires, reminding us that fulfillment often comes when we touch the lives of others. In communities, we find shared responsibility, collective celebration, and the strength of unity in diversity. Every form of connection, whether deep or fleeting, personal or collective, adds a unique texture to the fabric of life. Alone, existence may provide survival, but it is connection that brings richness, meaning, and joy in countless forms.